Hey everybody, I'm Tim, and it's time for another cigar apocalypse. You're watching Cigars Daily. Hey, this video is intended only for cigar education on the craftsmanship and the culture of cigars, and it's not intended in any way to sell. But if you want to get some editorializing and more information out of this, you can learn more on Rumble and the community on Cigars Daily Plus. My gosh, is it already time for another cigar apocalypse? I barely took down my FDA regulation decorations. But here we are, and we're staring down a double-barreled dose of another horrifying situation. I've been in this industry for only 10 years, and I gotta tell you, there has been a lot of talk about nearly getting completely eliminated off the face of the planet. It's basically something that seems to come up again and again and again. And whether it's legislation that the US government's gonna do to outlaw or dramatically tax what we wanna do, or it's some sort of like online cabal of people trying to suppress our voices and make it so that we can't reach out to anybody, or the ever wonderful international relations between countries that causes us to just absolutely crap our pants, we always have something to go up against, and today we got something brand new. But it's really not all that new. It's been in the news a lot lately, and that's the magic word, tariffs. This last week, we saw headlines start to come out. I saw this first on Half Wheel. They've got great information about cigars that said that the Trump administration is threatening 100% tariff rate on Nicaragua. Now, if you've been following, the news at all over the last 7 or 8 months, you would know that tariffs has been a big word. And not only that, but our president doesn't seem to have any issue threatening colossal tariffs, especially when he feels like something really important needs to be done or changed. Traditionally, 100% tariffs are really reserved for the big dogs, like China. But in this case, Nicaragua is getting threatened with the absolutely massive tariff, and that tariff, of course, does include premium handmade cigars. So I thought I would put this video out to update you on what's going on, how did we end up here, where are we going, and what can we do about it? Because in this instance, it just so happens that there is something, and it's not a small thing. And the first question to answer here is just exactly what the hell did Nicaragua do to earn triple-digit tariff threats? It's like the ultimate tariff threat right now, and that only because we haven't threatened 4-digit tariffs on anybody just yet. But we're just months into the administration. There's still time. Certainly here, what Nicaragua's got going on, the accusations are dramatic. They include a laundry list of gross human rights violations, a list that includes things like attempted assassinations, extrajudicial killings, revoking people's citizenships, torture, there's forced exile, human trafficking, and more. Reports that have been made to the U.S. State Department have even included accusations of child labor in the tobacco sector, although I have to say, in Half Wheel's article about this, they do mention that premium cigars were not specifically mentioned in this. Now, I'll say this. The premium cigar industry is massive in Nicaragua. I don't know what total proportion of the tobacco industry it is in Nicaragua, how much non-cigar tobacco they're actually doing out there, but I do know that premium cigars are one of the top 5 or 10 exports of Nicaragua. It's a colossal business. I'm going to come back and comment a little bit on what my experience and knowledge about premium cigars and any accusation that child labor could be going on in just a little bit. Let's continue. Now, certainly if you're at all aware of this situation, you'll know that it's not brand new. This is nothing that hasn't been around, and the last administration had a pretty consistent threat of sanctions on Nicaragua for similar lists of violations. In fact, civil unrest in the country of Nicaragua dates all the way back to 2018 when there was colossal uprising, protests, and more as the government made changes and cuts to the national pension system. This was a time during which the cigar industry really had sort of a tumultuous go of it. It was the first year that I had started making content for Cigars Daily, and really one of the outstanding years in cigars, as it was difficult to even get cigars out of the country as people were so upset with their government that they were blocking highways and pulling stones out of the cobblestone streets to throw at the armed police. And so, as I say, this issue is not brand new. It's been around, and the government in Nicaragua has been, I'll call it, a situation for the people down there for quite some time. And because of that, we've seen that Nicaragua's tariff rate already isn't quite what it is for what they've called the sweeping tariff rates for the rest of the world. During the beginning of Trump's presidential administration, he announced sweeping tariffs, which included 10% tariffs for just about everybody out there. And so Honduras got 10%, and Dominican Republic and any other cigar making countries got 10%, while Nicaragua ended up with an 18% tariff. And a bunch of these accusations are now leading them to say, we need to go further, and these 100% tariffs could be a part of that. So exactly what does this mean for the premium cigar world? Well, as it turns out, that's not exactly clear just yet, but there are a few things we know. As of right now, the recommendations being made are to either immediately install a 100% tariff on all Nicaraguan goods, which would include cigars, or to install this tariff over the period of 12 months so that it's not such a dramatic hit. Although I would say if you got hit in the face slowly but still extremely hardly, I think it would hurt as much, maybe even worse, because then it's really just crushing pain that you're experiencing. At this point, with the 18% tariffs that have gone on Nicaraguan goods, we've already seen people respond in a number of different ways. Cigar brands have responded by some of them have absorbed the tariffs. I've even seen cigar brand, at least one brand, drop their prices on their cigars in response to the tariffs. Other brands have assessed a price increase on their cigars. Other brands have assessed a tariff surcharge on their invoice for the cigars. Some brands have partially absorbed the tariffs and passed along a small price increase. There's been a number of ways that this is dealt with, and not straight across the board can I give you any one, here's the total effect, except to say that the prices of cigars have noticeably and arguably gone up since the tariffs have come out. And we can also all together pretty easily deduct what will happen. If 100% tariffs go in on Nicaraguan goods, that will effectively increase the price of a premium cigar in America. You know, when I first got into this industry, the going rate for a quality handmade cigar was about $8 to $10. I mean, for $8, people were getting a really good cigar. Since the last administration, where we had some really out of pace inflation that really seemed to ratchet everything up, the going rate on a cigar has jumped up from $8 to $10 up to about $16. $14 to $16 is kind of these days the going rate for a good quality cigar. Certainly there are great cigars that are still $10 and $12, but you find more and more of the new releases sort of coming out at that price point these days. If these 100% tariffs go into effect, I think that the most likely result that you'll see is that the going price for a good Nicaraguan cigar will now change and be something more akin to the tune of $20 to $25 in the United States. I'm going to add this now just for a little bit of perspective on this, because in America, we get angry when the price of anything goes up at all for any reason. And the honest to God truth is that while I'm not at all happy about things getting crazy expensive in the United States in any area, I still like to put things in perspective. Just over the last week, I spent some time with a Cigars Daily Nation member, one from Alaska and one from Canada. Both of them had stories that even with the average cigar kind of going for around $16, their stories horrified me. I mean, they just absolutely horrified me. And I gotta say, being a cigar aficionado today in America still puts you in the best place in the world to love and enjoy premium cigars. Now, if these 100% tariffs jump in there absolutely will be a much larger and more significant challenge for cigar lovers everywhere. So the big question is, what can we do about it? The great news here is that no matter what kind of aficionado you are, there's a simple thing you can do. I'm going to tell you about 2 options that are available, and I hope that these are helpful. If you find yourself to be particularly not engaged in the political process and you don't really care about all this stuff, then first of all, what the hell are you doing watching this video? And second of all, what you can do for your cigar love is pretty damn simple. Just love Honduran cigars more. Look up some Dominican cigars. Find some from Costa Rica. Get some stuff out of, I don't know, Italy or China. Who cares? Well, not China, because they got the tariff thing going on too. It's beside the point. If you don't want to be involved in all this, just ignore it and act like it'll go away. That'll make it better, just like the sore on your leg that's going to eventually cause it to get amputated. But the other side of this is there's actually something that all of us as aficionados can do. And I'll say this, I'm going to do something I don't do in my videos. My perspective is that my job is to make the best damn cigar content online for you for free. That's what I always want to do. I want my videos to answer the question, how do you get more out of being an aficionado, and how do you grow your palate, grow your passion and knowledge about cigars? But in order to come back and help the cigar industry, there's something all of us can do. The thing that I never ever do in my videos is ask you specifically to go do something. And the other thing I never do in my videos is post links in the description. I don't do these 2 things because, first of all, these platforms are unbelievably threatening against it. It's like seems to be the fastest way to get in trouble. But right now, we have just kicked off a commenting period on the website for the Office of the United States Trade Representative. This is where the government says that they are going to listen to the voice of the people. If you go click on the link in the description, you can respond to this. You can go give your input and your insights on what goes on in Nicaragua and the importance of the Nicaraguan cigar industry, what it means to you in your life, especially if you work and live in this industry. Steve Saka even posted on Facebook what his response to those things were and wrote some really good, very heartfelt stuff about this industry that we love. I similarly put some things in on that website as well. I'm not saying overall that there aren't issues in Nicaragua that need to be solved, but there's certainly an argument for cigar people. And I'll say this, and then tell you guys you can get more out of this on Rumble and Cigars Daily Plus. After 10 years of working in this industry, I've gotten to know a lot of the people that do this. And most of the really big names in this industry I've become quite well acquainted with. I've worked with the Perdomos and the Fuentes and the Fernandezes and the Plasencias and like the Garcias of my father and like amazing, colossal, now historic names in the world of cigars. I've even visited Nicaragua myself, and what I've seen is salt of the earth people in so many cases who are wonderful family people who the only way in which they bring children into their business after accusations of child labor is to raise up the next generation of cigar makers when their kids come of age. I was shocked and surprised when I went to Nicaragua to visit cigar factories to see schools built at the factories. But these schools don't teach cigar rolling or pylon flipping or anything like that. The schools are filled with Montessori-trained teachers who give these kids a first-class education. It's one of the many perks of working in a cigar factory in Nicaragua. Other than the fact that you get a regular paycheck and income, which isn't always common down there, you get health care and a great education for your children. They don't send these kids out into the fields. The cigar industry seems to be one of the best places on the earth to work, and these are people who I would get behind and support any day of the week, and now I'm asking you to do this as well. I had a conversation with a cigar maker when I was in Nicaragua. This was in 2019. I asked him why his family was building so many schools, and churches and parks and all of this stuff. From a very capitalistic mindset, my question was, why are you spending all your family's money making all of this stuff for the city? And the response to me absolutely dropped my jaw to the ground. He said, Tim, if we are going to teach our children to fight a tyrannical government, then we have to raise an entire generation of critical thinkers. This is a level of foresight from Nicaraguan cigar makers about raising up children in their country and creating a better place for everyone that I don't even see common among people in my own country. And so I support the cigar makers of Nicaragua. I think that 100% tariffs would be tremendously bad for them, bad for business, bad for all of us. There are amazing projects like the Red Meat Lovers Club Fratanga, which is the cigar that I have in the studio with me while I shoot this video. Check this video out on Rumble and Cigars Daily Plus. This is Tim signing off for Cigars Daily. I hope that you guys have your voice be heard.